Hello everyone, it's Micah. Welcome to the next in our series of reactionless videos. This is me continuing to go through all the number one songs of the 1980s. If you're not familiar with the concept of the reactionless video, to give you a quick recap, I have made over 100 videos where I did the whole YouTube reactor routine of setting up a screen and watching a video. Then I realized I don't have any talent for that. Like, I basically just stare at the video, and I got multiple comments about how I just stare at the videos, and I'm like, well, that's how I watch videos. And then I realized, well, that's probably why I shouldn't be a reactor. So now I'm doing what I call reactionless videos, where I comment on the songs after having watched them or watched the videos, listened to the songs, or re-listen to them in the case of this particular series, because I'm familiar with almost all of these songs that I'm reacting to or not reacting to, as the case may be. So welcome to my reactionless video. Today we're going to talk about Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. This is not in any way, the fact that I chose Billie Jean is not in any way a reflection of its current popularity. It's literally a viral song in 2026 because of the stellar recreation of the Motown 25 performance. Was it Motown 25? I think it was. The Motown 25 performance of that song by Jafar Jackson in the Michael Jackson biopic. And it's legitimately become a hit again in 2026, and it's crazy to think a song that's 40 plus years old at this point is still in such heavy rotation. And just to be absolutely clear, I did not listen to this song to do this video. Like, usually I will listen to the song, watch the video through at least 2 or 3 times. Maybe I should have listened to the song. I feel like they're coming after me now. And the reason is because I could almost imagine second by second the progression of the song from when it opens to when it ends. Like, if I were more musical, I could probably lay down a garage band track that would pretty much sound like Billie Jean. I can imagine the entire 4 minutes of the song in my head. That's how many times I've heard it in the course of my life. So I don't really need to review it again. I'm sure something new would jump out at me, but I kind of feel like I know the song at this point. So, I mean, what is there to say about Billie Jean? And sort of like the last reaction I did, which was to Africa by Toto. That wasn't the last one, but that was 2 videos ago for me. It's like, what can you really say about the song that hasn't already been said? Well, for me, Billie Jean is one of those iconic records that really does live up to the hype of what it's purported to be. A lot of iconic songs are at the right place at the right time, or sometimes they seem unexplainable. Like the runaway success seems unexplainable. But in the case of Billie Jean, the very stripped down production, the very unique emotive vocal by Michael Jackson, this was, even though there were certainly shades of the new adult Michael Jackson with his adult vocal intensity on the Off the Wall album, this was the first song where Michael Jackson, the superstar, with the hiccuping vocals and the pleading, jagged, almost erratic vocal improvisations and so forth, that Michael Jackson that became easy to imitate and mock in some cases. This is really the origin of that. This song is where he really goes all in on his very stylized vocal stylings that he would become known for the rest of his life. And the stunning sparse production and the stunning emotive vocal and the really off-kilter subject matter about naming this girl the titular Billie Jean and obsessing over her pointing him out or like accusing him of fathering a child with her. It's a really kind of surprising, especially for people who at that point were still thinking of Michael Jackson in his Jackson 5 days. It was really kind of a whoa, like he's grown up and he's doing like some seriously, I was about to say messed up, but seriously adult and even edgy content. And so it's easy for me to understand why the song spent 7 weeks at number one. It was one of the biggest songs of the year. If it hadn't been for like the other humongous songs that were released that year, in particular, Every Breath You Take by The Police, Billie Jean most likely would have been the biggest hit of the year, and it was still one of the monster hits of the 1980s. But yeah, 7 weeks, all of March and most of April, this song was number one in 1983. And like I said, I totally get it. It's a stunning song. The video is a perfect visual recreation of the song. It's like every step he takes, the street lights up underneath him, and that's what his voice sounds like. That's what the delivery sounds like. This sounds like a track tailor-made for him, where everywhere he goes in the track, he lights it up. It's a really great, well-imagined visual, and the song is as well. The one thing that I will say, this isn't critical, except to the extent that I'm criticizing like sort of the environment around it. But it is kind of funny now to listen to this song that was recorded. I guess it was recorded in 1982. The album came out in late 1982. The recording session, I'm pretty sure, was either 81 or 82. It's so interesting because we're only like a couple of years removed from the death of disco, the quote-unquote death of disco. And it's very interesting how they tweaked a few things, turned a few dials at different settings, slowed down the tempo a bit, and songs like this were such huge hits while still basically maintaining a whole lot of the disco DNA. Like, this song is slower and has a little less fussiness in the production, but those synthy strings that are flowing around in the production and the sort of shuffle beat of the song and all of the electronic flourishes in the song are very disco if you really think about it. Crank up the BPMs on this, add a few more flourishes to it, and it would have been a full-fledged disco song and would have probably flopped. But at the time, it was just enough. There was just enough difference between this and what everyone thought of as disco that nobody thought twice about making it a huge hit. Now this sounds very disco, but at the time it did not. So that's my one big revelation like that, or epiphany about this song. That I know I'm not the first person to point this out, but it's something that I don't hear a lot about the song. So yeah, this song is a landmark, and it deserves to be. It's one of the stronger songs of Michael Jackson's career. It's one of the stronger songs off of the Thriller album. It deserves all of the accolades. It's this very focused, emotionally taut masterpiece of a song, and I have no notes on this. It's just a really great moment in pop music history where everything just sort of lined up, the artistry and the receptivity of the American pop audience, and Michael Jackson, of course, ready to catapult himself into this megastardom that was almost unprecedented. Some people would say that Michael Jackson at this point in 1983 and then into 1984 reached a stratospheric height of popularity that no artist had ever experienced before or since. I was around during that time. I was a 10-year-old living in Tennessee, and I certainly knew who Michael Jackson was, and I knew that he was really popular, but I was just at that point starting to get into popular music. So I didn't have anything to compare his popularity to. Looking back at some of the things that happened during that time, like some of the like the reactions to him when he would go out in public, and then he didn't actually tour for Thriller, so you can't really talk about the reaction of the fans on the tour, but he did go on tour with the Jacksons when they released an album the following year, and he did some songs off of the Thriller album then. But I have to say that I don't remember, like, the full impact of his ubiquity didn't really get to me. Like, I knew he was incredibly popular, but I mostly took everyone's word for it. I think it wasn't even really so much about him being so popular or like him dominating the conversation so much more than other people, like maybe the Beatles or Elvis in prior decades. I think what really set Michael apart was how global his impact was. I mean, that's, and that's just my take from where I was sitting in the 80s. The far-reaching impact of this album, the sales numbers, the fact that in 2026 we're still talking about him and we're still like enjoying this music and this artistry that happened during this time, that for sure speaks for itself. But I will say that at the time, like, there's nothing about what I remember from 1983 that for me makes his reign of popularity any more impressive than anything else that I've witnessed, any other artist that I've witnessed become a superstar in the years since. And so I guess maybe in a certain way I'm saying that because I do sort of resent the Michael Jackson superfans who are constantly hammering away at how iconic he is and can't be bothered to throw a bone to any other artist. It gets kind of obsessive at times online, and so even though I am a huge fan of his, I also like to put the brakes on overstating his importance. And so I have only good things to say about this song, though, so I won't further sully the positive review that I'm giving it here by talking about that any further. So that is my reactionless take on Billie Jean. We'll be going to a very much more niche 1980s record, but in its own way no less iconic, Come On Eileen. That'll be our next reactionless video. So until then, please help me to make music better.